The one thing you need to know about attraction is that most of it isn't verbal. So a lot of guys are in their heads worried about what to say and what the best line is, how to make the girl laugh. But ultimately, your vibe speaks before you speak. And vibe is a very wishy-washy, woo-woo term that's not very helpful when we're trying to define actionable focus areas that we can tweak in order to be more attractive or more seductive. But as I've come to find, a lot of guys are thinking too many steps ahead, because it's all well and good having lots of lines or even just knowing how to carry a conversation when you're in the conversation, but the chances are she's already rejected you before you've even had a chance to speak. Why is that? It's because at some level, you've rejected yourself. You're harboring lots of self-limiting beliefs, thinking, I'm not good enough. You're also dealing with shame and issues around morality when it comes to expressing your desires. You're asking yourself the question, is this even right? Should I even be doing this? Is this even allowed? And at some level, you're putting the girl above yourself. You think she's here and you're putting yourself here. Why? Because she's beautiful. She's got an amazing body. She seems so feminine. And you think that you are below here and you have to somehow work your way up in order to gain her attraction or gain her favor. There is research suggesting that over 90% of communication is nonverbal. And so around 50% is body language. And then the other larger share is tone of speech. And then the small slither around 7% is spoken word. So if we understand that most communication is through the way we present ourselves in terms of our body language, then we also understand that body language is fairly involuntary. It's intangible. It's quite difficult to control, especially in these high pressure situations where the spotlight is heavy, we're talking to a girl in public, where it's busy, hectic, chaotic, and our ego's on the line. A lot of our physiology, our body, our facial expressions, our micro expressions, the way that we're moving our hands, even our shoulders, they might be hunched, and you have no idea. You have no idea that this is what's happening because you're super nervous and because you're in your head. And why are you in your head? For the reasons I stated earlier, around shame, self-limiting beliefs, putting the girl on a pedestal. So in order to get past this impasse or to get past this obstacle, we have to address the root cause, which is why a lot of people in the space always talk about more reps, more reps, more reps, more reps. But if you're not getting any results, then more reps isn't the answer. You need to go a bit deeper. You need to investigate, why am I constantly tripping over myself despite putting in the reps? Because you know the saying, insanity, or the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And so I'll give you the ways in which I helped myself get over these hurdles and also my clients. So when it comes to dealing with self-limiting beliefs, the first step is to ask yourself, am I being authentic? Because I find that when we are limited with our worldview and we don't see ourselves in the best light, we tend to adopt a mask. We adopt a facade in order to try and impress the girl. And this is obviously very dangerous because we're not being true to our core selves. So one exercise that I like to give to my clients is ask yourself, what do I actually like about myself? What are the most authentic parts of me that I am cool with, that I actually enjoy? And everybody has those at some level. And when you write these down, you realize, well, actually, even though I have some insecurities when it comes to X and Y, I still have lots of positive achievements when it comes to Z. I have all these achievements, I've done all these other courageous pursuits, and you start to develop a list of your own successes. And it's important to regularly review these because a lot of the time guys just don't hype themselves up. We're our biggest critics, but in reality, we've achieved a lot of stuff over a lifetime, especially if you're around my age, mid-20s, late 20s, even early 20s. You've still achieved something. So it's important to acknowledge that and put it into writing and always look back at it. Then, on top of that, it's also important to assess your worldview. Assess your worldview and all the assumptions you have about the world, because I know a lot of you watch a lot of content on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, hopefully not TikTok. But the point is, you're consuming a lot of content and it's leaving subconscious imprints on your mind. Whether it's seeing content that says the only people that succeed with women are 6-foot giga chads with bulging biceps and unlimited millionaire 7-figure bank accounts. If you're consuming that kind of content, then that's affecting your self-concept, because you're seeing this ideal that's being portrayed on the internet, and then you're comparing yourself to that ideal. And if you fall far short, then you're going to have self-limiting beliefs. Oh, because I'm black, therefore I won't be able to approach girls in this particular country. Or because I'm skinny, I won't be attractive to these kind of girls. Or because I'm short, then I won't be attractive to XYZ, right? We have all these self-limiting beliefs that we see people talking about on the internet. Maybe you're a short guy and you've seen a video of a girl online saying, I don't date short guys, get away from me, yada, yada, yada. And you internalize that video or that belief or that opinion, it's just an opinion from one person, and you take it to heart. And now it's affecting your own self-image. I could do the same about skinny guys. I could see a video of a girl who says, oh my God, I don't want skinny guys to approach me, leave me alone. Or it's the opposite. You only see big guys, muscular guys, rich guys with attractive women. And because your algorithm is only showing you that side of it, then now you've conditioned yourself to believe that that's what you have to be. So you need to review your world beliefs. Take time, disconnect from the internet, and ask yourself, what do I believe to be true about the world? What do I believe to be true about myself and my place in the world, especially as it pertains to my level of attraction to girls? And if that belief is negative, ask yourself, why do I think that? Is it because I've actually experienced that myself? And if so, go deeper and ask yourself, okay, well, I had a couple of experiences in high school where I got rejected, but is that the full story? Or were there other underlying factors that could have played a massive role in why I wasn't as attractive? And could I work on those factors? And then if it's less about your experience and more about what you've seen on the internet, then ask yourself, yeah, why is it that people on the internet say this? Or am I only seeing one piece of the pie? Because clearly, for example, this guy that I'm watching with glasses on YouTube, he seems to have a successful dating life and he's not the most chiseled, giga chad looking guy in the world. So what does he know that I don't know? Maybe my beliefs need to shift. Maybe I need to adopt a new perspective. And that's where it all starts. Because once you start going down that trail, you start unwinding these beliefs. And the reason why going out and just approaching doesn't work is because at some level, when you get rejected, you haven't done the work to rewire your self-narrative. So when you get rejected, any rejection feeds the negative self-narrative that you've already put into your mind. Does that make sense? You've gone outside, and before you've even spoken, you already have all these negative assumptions about what women are attracted to and whether you're attractive or not. But if you do the work I'm telling you to do, which is to literally sit down, write the stuff on paper or write it in your notes app and really think about it, you'll start to realize, oh my days, I am thinking about this in the completely warped, self-sabotaging way. Therefore, I need to change that and then go back outside. And you'll see a massive difference. You'll see a massive difference. Then, when it comes to shame and morality, this is a more intricate topic. And what I like to do is I like to, again, get a piece of paper and ask myself, what do I think is wrong about XYZ? So for example, a lot of guys think that cold approach is creepy, or that they might get criticized or ostracized for it. But do you ever sit down and ask yourself, why do I think it's creepy? Because as I've come to find, whenever I approach in London or in different countries, most of the time, almost all the girls tell me, thank you, keep on doing this. So I have hard evidence that women don't find it creepy at all, assuming that it's done in the right way. So why is it that on the one hand, I have these experiences, these lived experiences of girls telling me to keep on doing it, whereas at some level subconsciously, I still think it's wrong, right? I still think it's creepy. I still think it's harassment or whatever the case might be. And it's important to take a step back and ask yourself, well, that belief is clearly tied to shame and morality. There's clearly a hive mind morality around expressing your desires in public or getting rejected in public. And that's been pushed onto you at some societal level. And it's really important to ask yourself, well, objectively speaking, is it wrong to express your desires to somebody in public? Is it wrong to approach a girl in public? Is it actually wrong? Is it morally wrong? Moral is a really important part of this because morality is tied to right and wrong, and all of this is top down, right? I don't want to get too technical, but it's all from what we see other people doing, mimetic desire, right? We mimic what other people do, whether it's family, authority figures, religious figures, school, teachers, our friends, our co-workers, and we adopt a moral worldview. But that moral worldview doesn't serve you anymore, especially if you're trying to be a renegade, a rebel like myself. So you need to investigate that and ask yourself, yeah, why do I think it's wrong? And then you realize as you start to go down these trails of, is it wrong to approach a girl? Is it wrong to get rejected? Is it wrong to express my romantic desires? Is it wrong to draw attention? Is it wrong to do this? Is it wrong to speak to strangers? Is it wrong to do this, etc., etc.? You start unwinding this bullshit and you realize there's nothing wrong with anything. I can do whatever I want. Ultimately, you have good intentions. I mean, you're not going in there to cause any trouble, are you? You're just trying to get a date, mate. You're trying to get a date. So why is it so serious? And so it's important to undergo that personal mental barrier, right? Investigate further. And then finally, when it comes to putting the girl on a pedestal, it's important to recognize that she is just as human as you are, no matter how attractive she is. She takes a shit just like you. She has her fears, worries, goals, dreams, ambitions, and she's not that different to you. The only difference is she's got an amazing body, she's cute, and she has something that you want. So don't see her as this otherworldly being that is outside of your realm of understanding and somebody that you have to win over or convince. She's your equal, right? And of course, a lot of this goes down to the fact that we are making the mistake of comparing her physical attraction to our physical attraction, when really we should be comparing her physical attraction to our character. But getting over that hurdle additionally takes reps, because you start to do more reps, you start to do more approaches, you get better results with more attractive women, you start going on dates with them, you start hooking up, you start having romantic relationships, and you realize, oh, she's just as normal as anybody else. She's not that special just because she's attractive. And if anything, real talk, you're probably more successful, right? This high value concept isn't about all the money and all this stuff that, we don't want to go to extreme. Of course, money and status, and it's all important to some degree, but you don't need much. But start viewing yourself through that light and compare that to her attraction. Don't compare your muscle mass or, your jawline angle. This is all feminine stuff. Why are we looks maxing ourselves to death? That's very gay. Why are you gay? That's very feminine. Like, why are we doing this as men, right? Our value doesn't come from that. And to end the video, I'll talk about a conversation I had with a girl that I'm seeing in London at the moment. It's funny. I approached her in central London, and as we went on a few dates and started to get more intimate, she revealed to me that somebody else had actually approached her that same day. Now, this guy approached her after me, but I asked her, okay, that's interesting. So what was the difference between me and him? And she told me that he was just really nervous and he really seemed unsure of himself, whereas I was just calm. In her words, she said, "You were just so calm." And that's all she said. And it was such a simple sentence from her. But as I reflected on it, I realized, well, why was I calm? Was I calm because I was gym maxed? No. Was I calm because I have all this money in the bank? No. In fact, at the time, I'd left my job, so I was unemployed. No, I was calm because I had the right beliefs. Instead of having self-limiting beliefs, I had strong beliefs about myself. Instead of having shame around approaching girls or expressing my desires or the fear of rejection, instead of having shame around that, I was okay with it. I was accepting of it. I ran into it. In fact, I had pride and courage and confidence because I truly believed in what I was doing. And I had no moral qualms about this process of trying to get dates, right? That's why I was calm. I didn't put her on a pedestal because I've done this enough times and I've already been with attractive girls and I've already had the experiences. So I didn't see her as, oh my God, this is someone I have to bow over or bend over backwards for in order to get their attention. No, I just approached her like any other girl. And she's really attractive. Of course, I really like her. And she looked absolutely stunning that day. I always tell her that. But that didn't make me more nervous because I've been down that road before. And so this is a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but this is the mentality that you need to get to in order to make sure that your vibe is spoken before you do, right? It's spoken in glowing terms so that once you flash that smile and say, hey, excuse me, she's already aware of who this guy is. She can already tell because it's all subconscious. It's all beneath the surface. It's not just about what you say. Like I said in that study, over 90% of communication is non-verbal. So really ponder on that for a second, my friend. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one, fellas. Peace.